I don't know who I think I am sometimes. So, in the middle of crisis managing December, trying to decorate my house and getting ready to host everyone for Christmas, I've decided, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea to make everyone homemade gift bags? Yes, it is a great idea. However, I have zero budget and about 24 hours to pull this off. So, let's see if I can do it. So it's the middle of December, and we are getting ready to host my family for Christmas and G's family for New Year's. So we've decided to paint the dining room, paint the spare room, and basically do a load of DIY to make sure that we're ready to actually host because this house keeps throwing up lots and lots of issues for us. But that's okay. For anyone who's new here, we have just moved house to a house that doesn't seem to like us very much, but we're working on it. But during that, I was thinking, right, I want to make sure everyone has a lovely Christmas. I'm going to make some beautiful homemade gifts for them. However, I don't have any time. But I do have a pantry full of stuff that I know people will like, and I've got lots of like ingredients and supplies. So I've decided to see what I can pull together and see if I can make everyone a nice little gift bag for Christmas. Let's give it a go and see how we get on. Let's go and have a see what we've got in the pantry to add to our little hamper. We're having a bit of a disaster at the moment. The washing machine has decided to give up, so it's all hell again, but there we go. So, what have we got on our shelves that we can share with people? I don't know if you can hear it outside, but the wind is absolutely howling today. So, everyone is going to get a jar of apple jelly. I did a really good job with these apple jellies, even if I do say so myself. So, one, that one looks a bit manky. Two, I'm only getting the best ones out. And three, you'll do lovely. This is really nice. So it was really easy because it was all like the peels and cores and bits of the apple, and it comes out really nicely. So apple jelly, one of them for everybody to make sure everyone's got something nice. And then what I'm thinking is I'm gonna give everyone something that I know they're gonna like. So something a bit different. What have I got? I want them all in a nice jar as well. Nice like matching jar. What's that? Apple butter. Might get that out. That's nice. Apple butter. It looks good as well. So I think I might give my sister some cherry jam, which would be good. My dad, I am going to give some. I want to find it because there's some nice smaller jars in here. Chili apple chutney. That's what he's going to have because he will like that. And my mum, she is going to get some. I think I've got some nice strawberry jam, possibly. I'll give her this jar of strawberry and apple butter. I'm just going to try and take the bits of thingy off of it. She'll be fine with that. Good. So that's something that everyone's going to get. So apple jelly, just because I've got loads of it, and then a nice little preserve that they're actually going to really like. So that's a good thing. Now I'm going to take in all of the other bits and pieces into the other room so I can kind of lay it out and see what we've got. All right, so what I'm thinking is I've been to a discount retailer in the UK and I have bought some ribbons and some fancy things. And I've bought some more kind of like jingly ribbons that I could put around stuff. I've also got some gift bags. Bee's favourite colour is purple, so she can have the purple one. Mum can have the pink one. And just so that he doesn't feel like I'm not questioning his masculinity, Dad can have the green ones sorted. So I've got some gift bags for everybody. I saw these as well, and I decided that I needed them in my life. These are cookie cutters. What I'm thinking is I'm going to donate to one of my jars. I say donate. The expectation is that they give this jar back. This is a very nice jar. That's why they're getting it for Christmas, but they give me the jar back. So I've got loads of different shapes. My idea was to try and get like put cookies in here, but I think some of them are going to be too big. So like the snowflake one, for example, does not fit. Doesn't fit at all. I don't think the gingerbread man does either. No, not really. So I just need to pick the slightly smaller ones. Christmas trees, I think they will fit. Perfect, good. So we can have a Christmas tree, we could have a snowman there and a candy cane. That would fit. There we go. Obviously I can fit more than one cookie in. I don't think my ball is going to fit. Oh, the ball might fit. Let's have a look. Ball going to fit. Yep, we can fit the ball in there. Lovely. And a glove, winter glove. That'll fit. So that's good. I can make some cookies. I don't know what that is. What is that supposed to be? Can you guys see that? There you go, I'll pop it on there. Tell me in the comments what. I don't know what that's supposed to be. There's a Christmas cutter, but either way, we'll put that one to the side. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shapes, which I think is nice. So I will go and bake some cookies for everyone, and they can have a jar of cookies each, which is good. That's what they get in this house, everybody gets stock for Christmas because I make far too much stock and I need to offload it. So everyone gets a beautiful jar of stock for Christmas. I've got 3 jars here. They're going in. I also found some, I don't know if I'm going to use these, but I found some like chocolate molds in the cupboard. It's amazing what you find when you move house. So we might use those. I've also got some of these like heart-shaped silicone molds. You can see them there. It's really cool. So my sister has been moaning not moaning. I'm not allowed to say she's moaning. She has been saying rather loudly recently that she wants some wax melts. She has a little cat called Bean. I'll pop a little picture of him here. He's very cute. She has a little cat called Bean, and he is very cute, but he also tries to eat candles when they're alight and incense sticks. So she can't have like nice scented candles and incense sticks. But what she does do is she gets some wax melts and she puts them in a ramekin and they go on her log burner so they melt and smell nice. I've had some wax melts, so I've got these. These are like bog standard shop bought ones. They smell really nice. Obviously, you're not going to be able to smell them, but they smell all right. But I reckon I can do better. So I've decided, in my infinite wisdom, that I'm going to try and make her some wax melts. I might see if I can use this. This might be a bit small. Might not be though. And she can put a load in there. I'm going to make her a little bag of wax melts. I've got loads of essential oils and I've got loads of wax left over. So that's going to be a nice easy job to do. Mum, I'm going to make her some lip balm. So although it's not the same wax that you use, I'm going to be in the kitchen doing things like that. So lip balm it is. I think that'd be quite nice. Hopefully she'll use it. That's what's going to go in here. And I've got all the ingredients for that in my apothecary. And for everyone else, everyone is going to get a jar of apple jelly because I'm really proud of it. So that's going in everyone's boxes. Via's got wax melts. My mum's got her lip balm coming up. Need something for my dad. Other than that, we've managed to get all of the stuff from the pantry already. So I'm happy about that. What I have found is I have a set of these really nice jar topper kits. So I might actually pop some nice jar toppers on here. What I want to do is just get them ready for everyone. So I've got 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to use these as placeholders for the minute. So let's pop these in Fee's wax melts jar. She's not getting these ones because they're not nice ones. But we'll pop those in there. So that one could be Fee's jar there. Apple jelly. Let me pop apple jelly, and then an apple jelly. Almost missed an apple jelly. There we go. Everyone's getting stock. So a jar of stock, and a jar of stock. Yes, I know the jars are not matching brilliantly. And then Fee is getting cherry jam. So that'll be Fee's bit done. And then Dad is getting chili chutney. That's Dad's bit done. And then I need to clean Mum's jar off, but she's getting some strawberry and elderberry. And I've reserved this nice fancy jar for her lip balm. I think actually I might have given her lip balm the other day, so I think I might change my mind and do solid perfume in there. Very similar process, so it's not going to be too much of a difference. And again, just going to use essential oils. So essentially, this is what they get in their bags. So I'm quite happy about that. Okay, so I've got some of our nice jar toppers here for the jars of bits and pieces that have already been done. There we go. How lovely does that look? That looks so cute. Lovely. Now we've got a little jar of cherry jam with a little thingy on top and a label on there, obviously. I'm well happy with that. That's going to go in there. So I'm going to get the rest of these done and then I'll show you what they look like afterwards. Okay, that is the jars, these jars done. I'm going to try and just pretty these jars up a little bit because at the moment they're a bit ugly. And when I'm done putting the cookies in, I'll pop a little ribbon or something around these ones. Look how pretty that is. How cute is that? I'm going to do the rest of them like that. Just basically, oh, there we go. Brilliant. It's all falling apart. This is basically a gift to take the mick. So we like a little bit of taking the mick in my family. While that's actually still stuck together, I'm just going to put it straight in the bag. Ready to go. Lovely. So one in there. Pick up an apple jelly. This is for mum. So the apple jelly goes down the side there. She's having a strawberry and apple butter. Pop that in there. And then I've got just enough room. This is going to be a perfume, so I'll pop that in there as well. So I will actually make the perfume obviously in a second, but I just want to make sure everyone's got their bits. And I think I'm just going to give it to them with their little jar of biscuits. So that's the plan. Let's make these ones look pretty. I've been experimenting with the cookie jars. So I made a nice little bow. That'll look quite nice. I'll pop that on there. Maybe I'll stick another green sticker on top. Make it look proper festive. We'll see how it goes. But no, that looks quite nice. I like that. So pretty much everything fits in their jars. So in their bags rather. So if I show you Fee's one, you can see that this is the little gift bag I've got. She's got the jar of chicken stock, the jar of apple jelly, and she's got her, I can't remember what one we gave her, cherry jam. And this will be the jar that her wax melts are in. Again, these are in here just as a kind of a placeholder. So I do know that they fit in really nicely. And then I can gift that along with a jar of biscuits and everyone's happy. I think that'll be quite nice. And I think for a little homemade gift, that's going to be quite good. So now I'm going to go off and go make these biscuits and the wax melts and the perfume. Shouldn't take too long. Welcome back to my very, very messy kitchen. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to grab the ingredients for the wax melts and for the solid perfume. They don't use the same ingredients apart from some essential oils. However, I'm thinking, just to save time, because I'm a bit short on time, I can put both pots in here because they've essentially both got a melt. So let me grab those now. Two of these, and I should be able to fit both of them in there. Yeah, it's brilliant. Look at that. You can just about see that. Basically 2 for 1 deal. So that's good. That means I can do the melting of the things together, which will save me a little bit of time. And today we are very short on time because I have to do these things in my lunch break or just after work. And just after work at the moment doesn't have any sunshine. So my lunch break it is. I've been saving for months, basically ends of candles. We use candles quite a lot in my house because, you know, heating's expensive. But the thing is, when they get down to like this, they're not going to light anymore, but there's loads of wax left and I'm not about to, you know, miss that. So I've got 3 big bits of these, I think. Oh no, 4. So I think I'm going to use these for my wax melts because they're a nice kind of neutral colour as well. We're going to measure up this one. If I tear that, there we go. And I'm just going to put the wax that I can fit into one of those into the jar. 157, lovely. So I'm a bit terrible at maths, but I've decided to go for a scent called Rustic Retreat. This is going to be Mum's one in a minute. So I need 109 drops, and it's a 4:3:3 ratio. I'm going to use sandalwood, not cedar, because I can't find my cedar one. So I'm going to use 44 cedar, 32 lavender, and 32 bergamot. That's the plan. I'm going to pop it in this shot glass because I want to heat the wax up so that it's melted, but I don't want it to be too hot so it'll burn the oils. So 44 drops of these. Let's give this a try. Okay, that's going to take ages, so I'm going to wing it a little bit. I've decided because why not? If we were doing this properly, then I'm sure we wouldn't wing it, but I'm going to assume that's about 44 drops. You can work it out, I'm sure, and I have no idea how much is in there, but now we've got some in there. Lavender, I need about 32 drops of. This is a lot thinner, so it should be a lot easier. So, right, okay, the last one is our bergamot, isn't it? So I don't know how fast this one, oh, this one hasn't even got a dropper. Clearly I've got fed up with bergamot as well at some point. So let's just do a bit of bergamot. There we go. There we go. We'll give that a try, shall we? I think that's going to be roughly right anyway. Yeah, we'll see what it smells like. Oh, it smells really nice. Oh, if that works, you'll really like that. So yeah, that's a good one. The other one I'm going to do is I'm going to do flowers in the meadow. And I'm going to make this into perfume for Mum. So she is going to have her oils in this one. And then I'm going to fill my other jug up with some shea butter and some coconut oil. And because they are in my dining room, which is currently full of boxes, so don't judge me, but they're in my apothecary over there. My dining room is definitely full of boxes still, so don't judge me. And it's half painted as well, so you can see that. I've kind of, where is it? Just there. I haven't had time to finish the painting yet, so I'm going to have to do this before Christmas. Okay, let's go and fill up Mum's one as well. Mum's one seems a little bit easier. This is what I've decided to do. 3 jasmine, 2 lavender, 1 geranium and 2 lang lang. But let's obviously see what we end up. I might double it because I don't think that's going to be a lot, is it? So let's go for 6 lavender. It was only supposed to be 2 lavender. Never mind. Right, okay, we're just making up this. It's easier that way. And this is a mixed jasmine. These sort of crafts are going to be in the Grow Make Learn box, but I'm going to make sure that I've kind of weighed and measured them properly rather than just winging it like I am at the moment. I think I'm going to get like a couple of droppers because I really hate these droppers on the end of these essential oils. They just get on my nerves quite a lot. So let's give that a swizzle so it's all mixed up, and then I'll give it a scent. Let's have a smell, shall we? Oh, that's really nice. Oh, it's like a proper summer flowery scent. You'll love that. Brilliant. Right, let's go and get some shea butter and some coconut oil so we can pop it all in the pots. I'm really sorry about the angle here, but it's all I've got to work with at the moment. So I'm literally going to make this up a little bit, but I'm going to pop in some shea butter into our little jar here. Lovely. Shea butter is really nice for the skin, so that'd be nice. I'm going to pop in some coconut oil, not a massive amount of coconut oil, I don't think. Going to pop in a little bit of vitamin E oil because this works as quite a nice preservative and it's good for the skin. So pop that in there. And then I've got some cocoa butter flakes that will just harden it up a little bit. And if needs be, when I warm this up, I can pop in some virgin olive oil to make sure that it's not too hard. Right, off we go. I know this is probably not the greatest of angles for you, but you might have to deal with it for a second. So there's my 2 bits that I'm going to be melting in there. And now the joy is literally just to let these melt down and see what we've got. Mum's one looks so much less, doesn't it? But so we've got the wax in there, and then we've got Mum's bits and pieces in there. This is likely to melt a lot faster, but then the cocoa butter does take a bit longer to melt down, but that's okay. And what I haven't done yet is I haven't added my essential oils because it's going to be quite hot. So I want it to cool down slightly before I add the essential oils, otherwise it will melt off. And this is going to be Fee's wax melts thingy. So that'd be nice. Should have enough wax in there. Might even have too much wax for that. So we shall see. We shall see. All right, we can see that this one is actually pretty much already done. So let's go and make the perfume. This little DIY honestly couldn't be much easier. So I've got 2 little jars there. I actually managed to lose the jar that I planned out for Mum to have hers yesterday, but I thought if I get those 2 out, then if I end up making more than I need, I've got it in there. So let me just, let's cool down a little bit. Let me just pop in the fragrances. You don't really need much. It's all in there. I'm just giving it a good stir in. This should solidify quite nicely. And then I'm just going to pour it all into this jar here. And look at that. That is actually perfect. It's almost like we bothered to measure that. Brilliant. So I'm literally just going to leave it there to cool down for the next few hours. So we'll come back and do the wax melts in a second. Okay, it is done. So I'm going to grab it off of the heat. I'm going to let it cool down just for a minute or 2. Then I'm going to pour in the essential oils to make the wax melts. And then that bit is nice and done. See, lovely and quick crafts, exactly like we like them. Here we go. Okay, this is our melted wax. That is looking fab. I've got out the heart-shaped ones, and I've also got some of these mushroom ones as well, just in case we have more than we need. So I'm just going to let that cool down ever so slightly. Not too much, obviously, because otherwise it will start hardening. I'm going to pour in my essential oils. Good. They will, you can see there that they've kind of gone a bit solid, but it's only the wax solidifying around them, which is fine because they've now all melted in. Lovely. Let's give it a quick sniff. Oh, that smells really nice. I think she'll like that. Good. Let's do those. And I'm going to pour them. I'm going to try and do all hearts, to be honest, but if I've got any extra, then I will do mushrooms. Okay, so here we go. I don't know how easy this is going to be. Probably not very. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, like using drippers and stuff, but we haven't got those. We work with what we've got. That looks alright, that's fine. What I might do is I'm just gonna, while it's hot, I'm just gonna pour across the top there. I know it's going onto the plate, I'm not too worried about that. I can always like remelt this slightly and make some more. There we go. Done! There's definitely more wax than needed, so I'm just going to fill up some of the mushrooms. She can have mushroom wax melts as well. These are going to be a bit weird because they're not quite straight on this plate. The reason I put them on plates as well is because I'm going to go and put them straight in the fridge, so I can kind of cool them down quickly. These are a lot easier to fill up. I don't know why I didn't do mushrooms at the start. Next year everyone gets mushrooms wax melt. That looks great, and I've still got some like leftover wax and stuff in there, so I'll probably just melt that down later on. Right, I'm going to go and pop these in the fridge, and then hopefully in a few hours they would have all solidified and they'll look lovely. As I was in the fridge, I also checked on Mum's perfume, and look at this. You can see just there. It's looking good, and it's also a really nice, I did put my finger in it a little bit just to test it, but it's like a perfect consistency. So that non-measuring that we did actually worked. And it smells really nice. She's going to love this. So that'd be nice for her. I'm going to go and pop that in her bag now. So we are doing pretty well. That was nice and quickly to come together. The last thing that I'm going to put together is the biscuits for the jars, make it look really nice. So I've got a jar out with me so I can make sure that I pick the right size of cutter, because some of the cutters weren't the right size. These are really, really cheap and easy to make. We nickname them poor biscuits in our family because they're dirt cheap to make. And it's an old World War II recipe from my nanny. So it calls for half an egg. So I'm going to double the mixture because I'm not going to deal with the faff of dealing with half an egg. If I've got too many biscuits, the mixture freezes really well. So that's good. I'm going to deviate slightly and I'm going to add in some vanilla essence or vanilla extract and some Christmas sprinkles, because why not? Although not the whole jar, because I'm making some Christmas cakes for G's workplace tomorrow night. So hopefully we should all be good. Let's get on with these biscuits. They're nice and quick. So the recipe for this is actually in ounces. I'll write it up and I'll pop it on the website as grams for you, because I've got to use my conversion over here. So where are we? Ounces. So just need most of this block of butter, so I am going to need to go to the shop and get some more butter at some point. This is really nice. This is a local butter and I just really, really like it. So these guys really good. If you're anywhere nearby, go and buy some. They're great. You could probably top this up with oil as well if you wanted to. That is perfect. Good. Let's pop my egg in there. I'm really looking forward to getting our chickens in spring, because that means we'll have fresh chicken eggs, although these do come from a local farm, so I'm happy about that. Oh, I really hope I've got enough flour, otherwise I've got to go out and get some. Oh no, I've got some. I've now put too much in there. Brilliant. That's actually a little bit more flour than I need. Put that back in there. I'm going to need to fill up my flour box at some point. So there we go, that's that done. nice and simple. Put that in there. Good. And then the last bit is caster sugar. So pop that in there. Oh, it's all stuck. I think I patted it down really well. Oh, a bit too much. Perfect. Good. Caster sugar done. Lovely. And that's literally all it is. They make really nice biscuits. Or cookies for our American friends. All of the ingredients is nicely mixed up in there. I am going to let my mixer do the heavy lifting, but I am going to add to it just a little dash of vanilla, because I always think it just tastes that little bit better with vanilla. Right, let me chuck this in the mixer and then we'll come back and roll it out. This can be quite a dry mix, so if it's not quite coming together, just pop in a little bit of water and it will come together eventually. There we go. Okay, you can see it's now coming together in a bit of a ball, much better. That looks good. So you can see this has come together quite nicely. It's actually now a little bit wet, so I'm going to put in a bit more flour, but that's okay. That's good, that's looking fine. To be honest, it's really hard to tell when these are done, but normally I take them out the oven when you can just see some of the edges going a little bit brown. Leave them on the sheet for a minute or two just to cool, and then when they're cool enough to move, so these are a little bit too warm currently, but as soon as they're cool enough to move, pop them on a cooling rack. I've actually now got the rest of them to do. Okay, our little mini epic craft session is nearly finished. So I have got these wax melts here, and they're these ones here. I'm going to pop them into the jar that I've saved. So let's see what these look like. Get rid of my bits and pieces. Let's do the heart ones first. I'll take off all the extra random bits of wax. Just going to basically pop them out and see what happens. These look like they're coming out quite nice. Oh, they're really nice. So this is what they look like eventually. So you can see we've got little heart wax melts there. They're very cute. I like those. Right, let's do the rest. And then we can fill up the jar for her. For some reason, I thought they'd be a lot more difficult to get out. But no, they're looking good. Oh, I can smell the scent coming off of them as well. That's really nice. Hello, Dilly. Dilly's come to say hello. Hello. You smell these. Do you think they smell nice? Yeah. So they're really, really easy to pop out as well. I'll see if I can do a couple on here at the camera so you can see. Literally just, they pop out really, really easily. And then you've got that nice heart one there. That's really cool. I like that. So this is definitely an experiment we'll try again. So I've got loads of these little hearts now. That's really cool. So look at that. There's a whole handful of these little heart ones. I would have kind of preferred, I suppose, to make them a different colour, but you know, we don't have time. Oh, they smell really, really good as well. So that's nice. So I'll pop them in the jar. Literally just pop them in there. I might leave the mushroom ones just so that she's got like a whole jar of hearts. I'm sure there's a song in that. Okay, so there's a few left over and there's some mushrooms, but look at that. It's a whole jar of heart wax melt. I'll pop the lid on. There we go. And that is going in her bag. Well happy. Just going to give a go at popping out the mushroom ones as well. Oh, they look really cute. Look at those. Oh, I really like those. They're amazing. They're fun. I might give them to G as just a bit of a treat. Be like, there's some mushroom things for you. He likes mushrooms. So yeah, again, dead easy to pop out. So this is definitely a little activity that we should be trying again. And also gives me some great ideas for some activities, slightly better, obviously, organised for our Grow, Make, Learn boxes as well. So lots of stuff that we're going to get to play with. So it's going to be good fun. I almost forgot that I was going to do some teas as well. So I've got out 6 tea bags so they can get 2 teas each. And I'm just going to pick from my little selection here. Someone got me a really nice little gift of lots of different teas. So I'm basically just going to fill them up with some bits and pieces from here. I think I'm going to give my sister vanilla chai because she will like that. My mum really likes peach tea. I don't know what my dad will like. Maybe, don't know. Maybe a nice green tea, actually. That'll go with his martial arts ideas. So I've got some tea bags. I'm going to pop some tea in there. Wax melts are done. I can put those in Fee's bag, which I will do. Go. The other thing, Mum's perfume we've already put in the bag. The other thing, we've got the teas for each one. So Mum's got peach tea. I'm going to pop that in her bag. Dad's got green tea, so I'm going to pop that in his bag. And then Thea's got vanilla chai. I'm going to pop that in her bag. And then I get to fill up my little jars of cookies. So I've got some cookies here. And I've got a whole plate of cookies here. So look, it's my plate of cookies. They look so cute. However, this one didn't come out very well. This is one of my candy canes and it came out a bit weirdly. So I'm thinking, we needed a taste test. All right, good. So let's see if we can pop them in there. So I've got 3 jars. I'm going to pop the Christmas tree, a snowman, and a candy cane in. Let's just make sure everyone's got one of everything. And a Christmas tree, snowman, a Christmas tree, a candy cane, and a snowman. I'm just going to try and stand them up slightly so that I can get the lid on. That one's okay. And then a ball in there. That one just needs a bit of jiggling around. These biscuits, by the way, make amazing tea dunking biscuits. They hold together really well and they hold the tea really well. So they're good. Okay, so we've got our nice little jar of cookies in there, which will look really nice. And then I'm going to put the lid on. There we go. How cute is that? Oh, I think they're going to love those on Christmas Day. Thought I would just flip you around and show you the contents of what we've got for a whole bag. So this is Fee's bag. She's got a jar of chicken stock, because everyone gets that. Cherry jam, apple jelly, her vanilla chai tea. I'll put that in a little bag. And her little wax melts. And then outside of the bag is going to be her cookies. So we'll just pop them in the bag. In there like that. So she's got those. And then those gently on top. Fab. Put that there and that there. How cute is that? I'm actually genuinely really impressed with how these have come out. I think they're going to look so cute on Christmas Day. And we've got Fee's one here, my dad's one here, and then my mum's one here. And we've got a plate of leftover cookies. So we're happy with that. No, these look really good, especially for thrown together with it today. So there we go. Shows you what you can do. Hopefully you've got some inspiration from that. And there we have it, homemade gifts made by a woman who should probably be decorating rather than pulling out Christmas crafts at the 11th hour. However, I think they turned out really nice and I'm hoping that my lovely family will really enjoy opening them on Christmas Day. I know they will do. They were pulled together with ingredients that I had and stuff that I'd already made that I know that they're going to like. And I think they're going to love it. I think we should bring back giving homemade gifts at Christmas because it's been really nice making the gifts and then thinking of the person while you're making it. So yeah, I really like that. If you would like the recipe for poor biscuits, as we call them in my house, they are very simple, but I have left a link down below. And some of these crafts and activities or similar are going to be in some of the Grow, Make, Learn boxes where we'll give you all of the ingredients and all of the proper instructions on how to make them. So do make sure you go and check out that below. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. Have a lovely time. Bye.